Pleasure to have you on board here on Good Morning Kenya. This is Eye on Politics, and we continue with a conversation and the next story that is making still on the front page of the Daily Nation and the Standard here is about the Deputy President. The Standard is saying here, do not belittle the Deputy President. That is Mount Kenya leaders tell Ruto. What do you think of that, Mheshimiwa?
Thank you very much, Mike. I think it is a fair complaint by Mount Kenya region.
Yes.
Very fair, because you see, if you notice that you are being isolated in a government which you formed, I think you are justified to point it out.
Yes.
I'm avoiding using the word complain, because they are trying to point out that there is an issue. There's an issue which is affecting their own, because I'm sure the Deputy President, Rigathi Gachagua, is there representing the Mount Kenya region, politically. And I'm sure the President was very strategic in making him his deputy. So the recent happenings in the last 10 days where the Deputy President is conspicuously missing in key national events, I think any reasonable person would read some mischief into it, and they may say, what is happening? We need to be told. Even though the Deputy President yesterday tried to stay away, I listened to him saying, I don't talk much. I think that was ironical, because that he talks much. But in this particular issue, he chose not to talk about it. But we could see the likes of Nyeri Governor, Mutai, Kaiga, how they were talking these issues confidently and say that we will not allow our man to be humiliated. And I think we have not heard the President commenting, though I saw the state of spokesperson, Hussein Mohammed, pointing it out. I think let us not read too much into it. Maybe the DP was sent for other assignments. We have not heard him complain. When we know that he is very vocal, So, but of course, those in Azimio, like myself, will try to make the entire situation explode for our own political reasons. But I think for the stability of our country, we should not allow that to happen. Because we need to see our country stable. Without having a stable government, then definitely the country will not be stable. Where the president, after he was sworn in, he was very clear that the humiliation which he says he faced when he was the Deputy President, he will not allow such humiliations to happen to any other Kenyans. So I think we are still hoping that the President will keep his word. And it is not fair to humiliate your partner. It is not fair. But I think I want to request our colleagues in Mount Kenya not to politicize this issue too much. Because I think maybe there could be other underlying issues which we are not being told. So they should not politicize this issue too much, because the President is there to work for the entire nation. The President is not only there to work for Mount Kenya, but for the entire nation, like Eastern, where I come from. And maybe the UDA politics might have caught up the President and the DP on these matters, because we know that the Nairobi, where Fadela comes from, the elections were postponed. We know very clearly that the Deputy President is backing up Gakuya to be the chair. We know very well, and we know that there were also issues to make sure that there are several deputy party leaders, but I think the party met and they ensured that it is only one deputy party leader. So I think there are so many other issues politically. We saw the issues of parties being requested to fold and join and merge, become one, UDA to become one, Kenya Kwanza to become one party. So there are so many issues. But what I can say is that we need stability in our country, and I don't think the President will really humiliate the Deputy President, because we all know that he needs a second term. And if you want a second term, I'm sure the best you can do is to make even other people come to you. Maintain the ones you have and make others come to you. But we also had, Mike, as I went up, that statement by the Deputy President on one man, one shilling campaign on the issues of budgeting, and many people who are opposed to it. Perhaps maybe some of these, let me call them controversial statements, may also affect his relationship with the boss, because before you go out there as somebody's deputy and make heavy statements, consult with your boss. So maybe my humble advice to the Deputy President and his allies is that they should learn to read from the same script with the boss. Because if your deputy contradicts you in public, or maybe comes up with heavy statements which may have a political impact, I think it's important that we look into all these matters. But in a nutshell, Mike, we should not read any mischief into all these things.
Yes.
Maybe the Deputy President was sent for other official assignments.
Yes.
I saw when the Right Honorable Raila Odinga was escorting Museveni to the airport.
Yes.
I could see the body language of Raila, and also could see the body language of Murkomen. Maybe our brothers and sisters in Mount Kenya are asking themselves what is happening. They should not worry, because our president, as Fadela said, is democratic.
Mike, wait. Let me respond to him. Yes. He started very well.
Yes.
Okay. Yes. And maybe the way he started, I was listening to him and I was saying, the president should consider me in UDA elections national. I'll reach out to him. He's very sober, he understands, all right? Because at first when he began by saying, let's not read too much into it, and I understand where he's coming from as Azimio, all right? Now, this statement that was that was alluded to, and the DP, my boss, the spokesman whom I'm to, Honorable Gakuya, usually makes the statement in terms of his media team, Mbogina Gakuya, and he says, let us stand behind Rigiji, for this is the only way we can win this battle. So, now, Rigiji has played a very pivotal role in this government, in the coming of 47% of the Kikuyu nation in supporting the president, all right?
Yes.
Now, 1 week, he's not seen anywhere, and it causes jitters and tremors in the whole nation. That goes to show you that we are not dealing with a puppet position. This is a very powerful place, all right? What he's saying in terms of when they stand and say, like Governor said, come buy and buy. And let me say this before I forget. My boss Gakuya said on record in another media house, we don't need to give credit to. He said he sits in the PGs, and the president was in agreement with 1 man, 1 vote, 1 shilling. He said it, all right? So I want to just answer him. The president is in agreement. They are not different, all right? But this whole hula baloo that is created by our opponents, we just want to tell them that we have the big 5, the Kamba, the Luo, the Kalenjin, the Kikuyu, when we meet as the Kikuyu nation, it's now an issue. But they were just meeting to discuss. And having seen what is being done to the DP, we have to pause and say, hey, what's happening here? Are there some detractors who seem to like to belittle the position of the DP? And that is where our problem comes in, and that's why we know that the president has been in this position before. So, like Honorable Gakuya said, let the president know and let him state and say, hey, leave my deputy alone. Like he said last year, he said, I respect my deputy. All right? So we are okay. We are okay. It's just ikelele hapa kando, but we know our senior most leader in the Kikuyu nation is the DP. And that 1 week, I could tell from his body language, he's a truthful man. He's an honest man. Yes. And we subscribe. We are also truthful. We are also very honest.
Let me ask Fadela, are you scared of the Limuru 3 meeting? Because I know after the meeting, we know very well that some of your colleagues in Kenya Kwanza wanted to attend that meeting, like CS Moses Kuria. We know what was declared there, that the former president Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta is the Mount Kenya spokesperson. Those were the key declarations. And then now, of course, after that, we are seeing that the president and the Right Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga are very close. Are you scared as a region, politically?
Let me say this, Mike.
Actually, let me add something. What does it mean for Kenya Kwanza, given that the Haki Coalition was leader was named as the former president Uhuru Kenyatta?
I like the way you've said it, and that's how I'll answer him. When you bring the issue of Limuru, okay, it brings a certain political connotations. Limuru 1, the convener, was this guy who passed on, Njenga Karume, 2002. what was it? To champion the nation, the Kikuyu nation, let's stand. And they did not stand with Uhuru, they stood with Kibaki. Limuru too, convener, Mishuki, 2012, to stand with who? Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta, all right? So when you bring the connotation of saying Limuru 3, are we saying, is there a gap? Because then there was a gap, now there's no gap. The gap, the position now is with DP, Rigathi Gachagua. So I would look for, remember when Uhuru used to call, it was Sagana 1, Sagana 2, look for another name, and I love what you said, call it Haki Coalition. All right? So there is no jitters with Haki Coalition. I agree they should meet. And like my boss says, there is no problem with the Kikuyu Nation meeting to speak Haki Coalition. But now when you bring the issue of Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta, you know, I said it one time, this man will go down as a political case study. He did not show up. He did not say anything. Unajua, kama unataka msichana, unataka kumtongoza, usianze kuriga sana, mimi niko na yeye hajasema. Hiyo ndo haitafanya. Hata relationship haitaanza. So, Haki Coalition is fine. But if you're going to pitch and say that you want, I love what the Nyeri, the guy who ran for Nyeri governor said. He said he spoke to Rigiji and said, go and meet Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta, have a sit down. Then that should be the case, whereby our two senior most, former and current, meet to discuss and partner in terms of channeling and charting the way forward for the Kikuyu nation. So there is no fear. And if President Ruto should talk to Prime Minister Raila Odinga, hakuna shida, watu huongea. Na hata sisi tukiongea, hakuna shida. Lakini we need to understand, respect to the DP, respect to the county boss, and respect to His Excellency the President. If all that goes on when 1.5 years, tutaishi vizuri. So hapo hakuna woga.
And also respect to the former president, because we are seeing the former president being humiliated.
Yeah.
So why are we not talking about the respect? As we talk about respect to the DP, let's talk about respect to the former president. And no, our president, one day, he'll be former.
Kabisa.
So I think that one, Mike, I think respect should cut across.